Alrighty guys, what's going on? So I'm back with another strain review, man. Today we're looking at some Chem OG by Muskoka. By the way, I whooped up the gloves because it's really fucking cold in here. So yeah, I know like, some people like, look at this fucking fat loser just fucking recording videos by himself in the cold. But here's the packaging. Here's the packaging. Do what you want with that. I don't know. 24.46% THC at 31, I think 31.80 is what I paid for this. So a little bit less than 32 bucks for 3.5 grams is okay. Nothing to go fucking hollering home about or whatever the fucking thing is, but it's a deal, right? I guess. So that kind of, for the THC percentage is probably one of the best things about this. It's Chem OG. I don't know if it's supposed to be dry, but one thing that I've noticed is the fact that it is fucking, like, really, really dry bud. So that being said, you know, its grind consistency is very fine regardless, which sucks because I don't like my weed very fine. But the upside to that, as you can imagine, is this produces a lot of keef, and a lot of keef it did produce. So that's nice, but I kind of wish, you know, like, I think it's also just, that leads to so many different side things. Like, for instance, the fact that this has a very weak terpene profile. Like, I can't really distinguish very much flavor in this, which really, really sucks, because, as you guys may know, I am a huge terpene junkie. I think, personally, when it comes to smoking weed, one big maker to break it is not just if it burns clean, but also if it has a good taste. And smell, obviously. For me, presentation, while yeah, it's important, it's not everything the way like the burn is or the taste or smell, because it may look like shit, but if it burns good, like clean, like a white ash or gray ash at least, you know, and it's got a good amount of taste to it and a nice taste, nice flavor, then that's to me a good nug, you know what I'm saying? It's quality. But in this case, and I don't want to say like to knock points, or not knock points rather, because, oh, it's 31 something. I don't think that, like, anything like $30 or less, like, this is very close to what I would consider to be budget friendly. This, in my case, or sorry, in my opinion, is just cheaper. Not budget, not that it's not budget friendly, but if you're on a budget, like that Pink Kush for $41 for 7 grams, that's budget friendly. That's extremely fucking budget friendly. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're practically getting like a free fucking 2-3 grams of weed. Now, that being said, where do I hold this so far, before we get into sparking the dude, because I already have it lit, rolled, where do I hold this based off of the presentation? Packaging is decent. I mean, one thing you guys are going to come to know if you're new to the channel, or one thing you may already know if you're not new to the channel, you've been watching my videos for a while, is I really like this minimalistic design that the government packaging uses with weed products. Now, it's not just bud, it's also doob tubes. It's also the cans they use for like their infused drinks and things like that nature. It's really interesting, and I think it looks nice. This, my loser ass self, I'm gonna go put this on the wall next to that one of that Pure Sun Farms Pink Kush up there. So peep that in the next video. I don't know, but nonetheless, let's get the spark in this. So the smell on this, like I said, this doesn't have a very strong terp profile, which again sucks. I really want to say that this smells nice, but it doesn't have a smell, so I can't say that. And I want to say it tastes good, but like the smell, it doesn't have very much going for it, so I can't say that. Now, as we light her up, by the way, I'm using the raw black king size. If you guys are curious, the reason I'm bringing that up is because some papers burn a little bit differently than others. And when someone's doing a rolling paper, a strain review, I want to know what the fuck they're rolling it with, because some papers, not naming names of brands, but some brands, they add chalk. So it may not be the bud that's burning white, it might just be the paper. But you guys see, raw black king size. These are all genuine papers. So, and by the way, I found this in like a secret stash from like fucking probably back when I first started smoking. Let's take a puff. Very strong kind of ash taste off of that. Now, granted, this lighter burns kind of hot, but it's chilly as fuck in my garage, so this may not burn the best. But I'm not going to hold that against it. I'm just going to say it's the weed, because at this point, like, you guys will see this whole batch of this, the whole 3.5 grams that I've smoked of this in the last 3 days has burned really dark. And that's something you guys know, or should know if you don't already, about me. Is I really don't like when weed burns dark. Like, to give you guys an idea, I went and smoked some with my boy the other day, and even he's very, very not picky. Like, he's not like me. Like, I'm a picky little bitch. You know what I'm saying? If it burns dark, I'll mention it. He usually doesn't really care. And he even said, wow, dude, this is burning black. Like, you see black? Like, Power Plant House weed is burns a little bit cleaner than this, dude. That is pretty fucking sad. Because that's the only thing I don't like about their weed, is that it burns dark. But unless I'm really in a pinch and I want to grab like an ounce, you know what I'm saying, for like a really cheap fucking deal, I'm going to go somewhere else and get my weed. But I heard through the grapevine that they got some new growers. So I'm going to be trying out a couple of the strains soon. Yeah. But that being said, what do I think about the strain overall, like burning inside? It's okay. I mean, the potency is there. That's one thing I really like about this. Everything else aside, the potency is true as fuck, because that 24, let's just say 24. The 24% THC potency is probably ideal for me, in the sense my tolerance is pretty high, right? Now, yeah, there are times where like I'll take a tolerance break and it'll lower itself again and then go back up because I'll smoke. And I try to take a tolerance break every few months just to kind of keep things interesting. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe you don't. But the whole kind of point to this is weed usually affects me about the same. With indicas, it takes less. Sativas, it takes more, but eventually I'm going to get like a couch lock, right? It's inevitable with me. I'm not sure if everybody's like that or not. But keeping this thing lit is going to be a bit challenging too. Uh-oh. Gotta press my phone. But getting back to the taste, I'm tasting a lot of ash. It's burning really dark. Excuse me. It's burning extremely fucking black. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna force myself to smoke this whole joint. It's really disappointing to me how black this burns. The last strain review that I did, that I can recall, that I know for sure, I really did not like the strain at all, was that Daily Special. I don't remember how long ago. It's been a few months at least, right? But that had the exact same issues, man. It didn't have a lot of taste. And now, granted, that was like $10 cheaper. So I really, like I said, at that point, I could kind of, I would be more forgiving. But $31, $32, you're not really saving that much past $10 a gram. So I really can't be that forgiving the same way as I would be for the Daily Special. Because at that point, that's bush. It may look good, but looks are deceiving. Another thing that I noticed about this is this does not resonate at all. Like, at all. It really, really blows my mind. This is just hitting, like, so many marks for, like, what I dislike about a strain, or what makes a strain a bad fucking experience, or whatever the fuck you want to say. Like, that checklist of pros and cons, there's more cons than there are pros, unfortunately, in this scenario, because while, yeah, it's burning a little bit lighter now, that's probably because I'm having to relight it, so it's freshly lit. If I didn't know any better, I might even argue and say that the date that's on the back of this bag is not right, and that this is just extremely old, or somehow this packaging did not hold. It didn't do a suffice enough job at maintaining its moisture. And one thing I'm going to say again, every company, especially government weed, should put a Boveda or Integra Boost in their fucking weed. That should not be, you know, oh, it's a premium pack, so you're getting it with it. Because usually, and this is something I say on Instagram a lot, and Snapchat and wherever, that's a selling point for weed dealers, you know. Hey, our weed is packaged with Bovedas. That should not, that should be with every fucking, unless you're going to like one of those cheapo fucking places. But this is a government fucking company, you know what I'm saying? They have regulations and shit, and then to cheap out and not put a Boveda, how much could he possibly be saving, realistically? You know what I'm saying? It makes the world of a difference, in my personal opinion, that not every fucking one of these brands puts Bovedas with their weed. Like, why not? That makes a difference, trust me. Even though the bags are not see-through, there's no transparency whatsoever with these bags, you know, it's sitting in the pack. Eventually it's going to start to kind of, you know, change its molecular structure and shit, and it, you know, it starts to kind of, I guess, not go bad, but, you know what I'm saying, it starts to age. So with that, it becomes less potent, less terpenes. And what's the thing I'm bitching about the most? No terpenes, no flavor, no taste, no smell. Other than that ashy, shitty, nasty, garbage, yucky taste. Two things I want to say is, the only reason, if you guys are going to ask why I didn't bring this back, is because my dispensary that I got this from will not do that. I've asked them. I think that is complete bullshit. I've filed so many fucking complaints online for that, because that should be illegal. It really should, being a government dispensary. If it's a non-licensed dispensary, I'm not going to say shit. I won't say boo. That's on them. But a government dispensary, it's kind of like going to a pharmacy to pick up a prescription, and they fuck up, give you the wrong medication, then you go back to bring it back, and they say, oh, well, sorry, we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Or you go and buy something at the store, and it's not what you bought. You know what I'm saying? They made a mistake. Like, when you go and grab a coffee, and if they fuck up in the coffee, you tell them they'll make you another one, usually. 99.9% of the time. The other, like, 0.1% is just because I fucking get pissed off and leave. But my whole point is, this is absolutely some of the worst weed I've ever smoked. I would say this is on par with the Daily Special, and that Daily Special is on par with the weed that I smoked quality-wise and overall with the weed that I smoked when I first started to try weed. And that's really shit. That was like 3-4 years ago. It's not like it was like 30 years ago. It's only like 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago. So yeah, that's pretty fucked up. But in terms of the potency, I mean, if you can look way, and this is something very difficult for me to say, if you can look past that there's very shit taste, very little taste, and very little smell, it burns extremely black. If you can look past all those negatives, the one positive that I really got to say is the potency. That's really the only thing this has going for it. I'm not going to say the price, because like I said earlier, you're not really saving a whole bunch, right? It's not like I'm getting this for like 25 bucks, where I would say 25 bucks. That is budget-friendly weed. It's at that point where I would say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to knock it that much, because it's 25 bucks. Really, what can I expect? But, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you spend $100, 120 bucks for an ounce. If this is what I got, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be disappointed. But at the same time, I know not to expect high quality for $100. Like, that Gorilla Glue that I got from Power Plant, the very first interview I ever did, the very first strain I ever bought from them, for that matter, was probably some of the best weed that I've smoked for $100. Because keep in mind, guys, before, I'd never bought an ounce of weed before that. So when I bought that, normally when I go to a dispensary, I don't spend more than $100, right? So at the time, it was $100 plus I think like $10 delivery, which is fucking nothing. Really, it's not. A lot of people say, oh, $10, why do I gotta pay for delivery? I'm already paying this much for the weed. A lot of places, usually you spend over a certain amount, or you buy a certain quantity, or whatever, you don't pay for delivery anyway. Like with Power Plant, the one good thing is I don't pay for it because I'm in Toronto. You spend over $100, you don't pay for it regardless of where you live. So, I mean, most of their products, bud-wise, when you're going for an ounce, everything is $100 or more, minimum. You know what I'm saying? You can get some fucking half ounces for like around the $100 range. So, I mean, you don't have to spend a whole lot, and you don't even got to pay for delivery. Now, to wrap this video up, because I'm getting super off topic, I would definitely not recommend this. This is not something I would buy again. And if I did, it would only be just to see if it changed. Just to see if maybe it was just this one time that it was a bad batch, and that's it. So, that being said, if you guys have bought from Muskoka grown, what strain did you buy? And if you've bought Chem OG, did you have the same experience, or was it a different experience? When did you buy it? And if you can tell me, excuse me, when it was packaged. I hope you guys didn't hear that burp. I'm going to edit that out. I'll probably forget to, but that was a bit of a loud burp. My apologies about that, by the way. But seriously, let me know if you guys enjoyed this video, man. I'm trying my very best. With this winter, because I do snow removal, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. So I'm thinking of just doing a video every Friday at, like, lunch, Eastern Standard Time. So, like, 12 p.m. EST. Let me know if that works with you guys. And I'm doing this also based off of my demographic, like geographical demographic, whatever the fuck, you know, hermaphic, fucking geriatric, whatever the fuck. You know, like it's difficult, man. It is. I look like such a fucking balloon. Oh my goodness. That's better. Anyways, guys, deuces.